Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Well, I think they're going to leave it open. Yeah.
Okay, folks.
Okay, folks.
Before we get started, we're going to welcome you tonight to the school for this debate just a week before the election. My name is Scott Benjamin. I'm going to be the moderator tonight. We would ask very politely that we don't have any applause tonight. That just takes away time from the candidates. But the way the human mind operates, if you're a candidate and there's applause, you're anxious, you don't want to wait 3, 5, 8 seconds before you can start your comment. So we ask you, in showing courtesy towards the candidates, that we not have any applause during the debate tonight. Again, many thanks.
To John's left, we have Scott Benjamin, of course, the moderator this evening. To Scott's left, we have Brickley, the Republican candidate. And on the end, we have Chris Hutchinson, which is from the Socialist Party. Socialist Action. Socialist Action. Okay. All right. So a couple of other items before I turn this over to Scott. Number one, this device here. I'm told to press the button, and if I need help, the kindergarten cops are coming. Okay. And second, Matt has a taser. So if you could show him the taser. He's going to use that. He's going to try to use it for timekeeping. But if we are ready to go, Scott has full control of the meeting. Please give the candidates the opportunity to all answer the questions completely. And Scott will raise his hand if he needs me or anybody on the other end of this two-way radio. Thank you.
Our format, each of the candidates will have up to 3 minutes for an opening statement. During the round of questions, they'll have up to 2 minutes for a response and up to 90 seconds for a rebuttal. Near the end of the debate, we'll have up to a grand total of 3 minutes that we'll be allowing for the closing statements. Our first opening statement, Mr. Hutchinson, 3 minutes.
Thank you, Scott.
Say the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. I'm proud of the sound system.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, just to review again, I don't know if the audio was loud enough before. We'll have 3 minutes for the opening statements, 2 minutes for each of the responses during the round of questions, 90 seconds for rebuttal, and then we'll move to the next question near the end of the debate. We'll have up to 3 minutes for a closing statement. First opening statement, Mr. Hutchinson, 3 minutes.
Thank you, Scott. My name is Chris Hutchinson. I'm a member of the Socialist Action Party here in Connecticut. I live in Hartford, Connecticut. I'm a Hartford area art teacher. I teach kindergarten through 8th grade at St. Augustine School and St. Bridget School. I became a socialist because I'm interested in putting the needs of all of humanity before the interest and the profit of a few wealthy people. And I think we should all take that into consideration. And I first really saw the power that working people had in 2006 when millions of immigrant workers, approximately between 5 and 7 million immigrant workers, took to the streets demanding their civil rights, demanding their human rights against brutal legislation that was trying to be passed by both the Republican and Democratic Party. And they shut down cities like Los Angeles and Dallas and Chicago. And there we saw where the real power in this country is. Not in the two parties that are pro-business, that are pro-big business, the Democrats and Republicans, but in the hands of working people. And that's the idea that we look to promote with Socialist Action and through this campaign, because we don't think it's going to be just getting elected that's going to make a change. We think it's going to be an independent movement of working people like we saw in 2006 that can make a real change. Now, what are some other movements that we've seen that have actually won concessions, that have actually won and beat these big ruling powers? Well, on the tiny island of Guadeloupe last year, you had a movement against brutal austerity measures where the majority of the working people on the island came out who've been oppressed by the colonial French government for years. and hundreds of thousands of people came out, and they protested, they demanded things like an end to home foreclosures. They demanded things like immediate schooling for their children who were on a waiting list, an immediate jobs program for every 16 to 24-year-old. In this country, we have youth who are unemployed at a rate of 50%, and I think that's despicable, it's a shame, and it shouldn't be like that. Well, in 44 days, something that Congressman Larson hasn't been able to do in his entire time in Congress, in 44 days, these workers went out on strike, and they won their demands. They wanted immediate end to home foreclosures. They wanted immediate placement of all these students from in Guadalupe who are on the waiting list to get into school, into good quality schools, and they won pay increases across the board, something that we are severely lacking here in this country, with home foreclosures, with wage disparities, and a growing gap in the wealth. And this is a tiny island nation, and they have influenced and sparked what we see now in France, where millions of workers are taken to the streets to demand an end to the hiring of the retirement age. And that's what we can do in this country if we have an independent movement, independent of the Democrats and Republicans.
Ms. Brickley, 3 minutes.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Matt, for hosting and moderating this debate. I'm honored to be here. I also want to thank the New Hartford Board of Education for letting us use this facility. And thank you to the other candidates for being here as well. This has promised to be a spirited debate. We've actually had 3 debates so far, and hopefully this will be just as lively and spirited as the last 3. I am not a politician. I am an engineer, and I've been solving business problems for all of my professional life. I decided to run for Congress because I am very concerned about the direction of the country. And if things don't change quickly, our children may not have the same opportunities that we've had. I love Connecticut. I've lived here my entire life. I grew up in Wethersfield, which is where I raised my family and where I live right now. I have 2 sons. My oldest son, David, graduated from Boston University 2 years ago, and he lives and works in New York. My younger son, Rob, is a senior at the University of Connecticut, where he's actually the captain of the soccer team, and he's studying engineering. Engineering kind of runs in our family. My dad is with me here tonight. He's an engineer. I'm an engineer. My sisters and brothers are engineers, and my son's going to be an engineer as well. And I'm a very proud UConn Husky graduate as well. What I do for a living is for this. I help companies improve quality and productivity so that they can become more competitive. I worked for United Technologies, and I worked for GE, and I had the opportunity at GE to lead business process improvement, where I visited other leading companies around the world to see what they do, how they do it, and what some of those best business practices are so that we could help GE become more competitive. And then I started my own firm 15 years ago to help other companies improve. What this means to you is that I know how to solve problems. If ever there were problems that needed to be solved, it's the mess that we have in Washington today. Now, our congressman thinks that the country is heading in the right direction. He votes with Speaker Pelosi 99% of the time for big government takeovers, big government bailouts, mandates that are killing this economy and our way of life. This election is all about choices, and I think you're going to see a choice between some very stark alternatives during this debate. You can choose big government takeovers, mandates, spending, taxes, or you can choose my approach, which is fiscal responsibility, free enterprise and small business growth, and limiting our spending to what we can afford. I'm happy to be with you and looking forward to the debate. Thank you.